Definitely, this is how you take the stress and chaos out of your training. You want to become sort of systematic, right? Now, sure, in baseball, there's not that much to it, right? You catch a ball, you throw it, you hit it. There's more to it than that, but it's still a pretty simple sport from a skill perspective. Jiu-jitsu, a lot of skills. Um, Gymnastics, whole lot of skills, right? You go from level 4 to elite level on 4 different apparatuses. I mean, you got to be in the gym 20, 25 hours a week, year round, even as a kid, right? A lot of skills. Wrestling, a lot of skills. If it's done right, you know. Now, I do believe that there's almost too many skills, though. There's things in wrestling from a technique standpoint that, you know, our criteria is this. If it's not going to work in the college level, we're not going to do it, right? So that just can get rid of maybe 30% of the wrestling techniques that some of you, unfortunately, are wasting your time drilling and learning and trying to master. Secondly, when you start looking at the positions that are kind of dangerous or not productive to be in, Bruce Burnett, he was sort of a famous coach for Team USA, and you know, was pretty integral to the success of guys like Kerry Cola, John Smith, Kenny Money. They talk about Bruce a lot. He was at Oklahoma State when I got there. He sat me down one time and said, Nick, your problem is this. If they want to overhook, you'll underhook. If they want to underhook, you'll overhook. If they want to wrestle outside, you'll wrestle outside. If they want to go upper body, you'll go upper body. And I was like, yeah, that's the way I like to wrestle. I want to be dangerous. I want to be a dangerous wrestler. That was the phrase my brother and I had as kids. We just drilled nonstop. We had all of our wrestling techniques taped to the wall in our little wrestling room in the basement. And he's like, I get it, Nick. And he's like, but you're going to wrestle a Bulgarian who underhooks for a living. That's how he feeds his family, because they wrestle for the government in some of these countries. He's like, and the guy that underhooks for a living, and you're going to let him do that, and you're going to wrestle out of an overhook, you're not going to win. He's like, your wrestling needs to get smaller. So watch Jordan Burroughs. All of his matches look the same, don't they? That's by design, right? He's avoiding wrestling in certain positions. Now, does Kyle Schneider try to shoot from 7 foot away? No, they're both Olympic champions, but based upon strengths and weaknesses that they have physically, they choose to wrestle differently. Kyle Schneider's a powerful man, more of a position-based wrestler, which I think is probably best for 98% of the athletes out there. They wrestle different, but they're both Olympic champions, so you can't say they're not good, right? But so their wrestling gets smaller. So when you start taking the positions like, oh, let's wrestle chest to chest over and under. No, that's a 50-50 position. You have just as much chance of getting taken down for the most part as you do getting a takedown. Don't wrestle there. So you get your wrestling notebook and you have like all these pages and you go over, under, chest to chest. Nick Perler, growing up, had 11 things to do from here and counters to counters and finishes if this technique doesn't work. There's 2 pages there. Rip, throw it in the trash. Rip, throw it in the trash. You should not wrestle over under. Not in a folk style wrestling match. So now my wrestling notebook is getting smaller because I'm not wrestling in stupid positions that I should not wrestle in. And then I take my notebook that's this thick now and I go, dude, I'm not powerful, but I'm pretty freaking quick. Okay, so let's quit wrestling ear to ear in a collar tie. I'm going to drill from there in case I get there, but I'm not going to put myself there on purpose. But I'll wrestle, you know, John Smith was like, Nick, wrestle from the touch, wrestle from the touch. The touch or outside, the touch or outside. The touch was forehead to forehead, you know, strong hands inside, maybe on a wrist. But I was like, not in too tight. Wrestle from the touch. Use that speed and your level changing ability. And my wrestling got better. So my wrestling notebook got a little bit smaller now, didn't it? And now my matches started looking kind of the same. And that's not a bad thing, you know? And then a little troubleshooting here and there. Hey, I made up a move Well, sure you did. Who hasn't? We've all made up moves, okay? We've all made up techniques. Like, I have found when I hip heist out, when my opponent has me in a crackdown, if I do this, I score better. Okay, then do it, right? And then, you know, your famous high school wrestling opponent tries it and he goes, dude, I can't do that. He's got to do something different. So even though your wrestling is now kind of compartmentalized and systematic, you're still going to learn and evolve. Okay, so that's my advice. Obviously, our online academy has it. If you want to figure it out on your own, do it. Otherwise, Miss Master, our 4-phase wrestling course, been out since 2005. And if you wanted to come to our camps, love to have you. We do everything kind of systematic that way as well. Our 28-day camp, we go over these philosophies and try to have a total education approach. So you can consider our 5-day camps, 28-day camps. If not, that's fine too. You guys have great success. I hope this video helps you. Good luck.